But I picked up drinking again and started to make some really big errors. I don't remember a lot of them, but I know they were there. And I got pregnant again with Ed. So Ed was born 18 months after B. And I graduated 6 months pregnant with Ed. He was born a couple of days before Christmas, by which point Real wasn't working, I wasn't working, I had no uni, I had no money, I had a newborn baby who was not ideal. I love Ed to bits, but he was born screaming and screamed for about 6 months without stopping. It was absolutely horrific. I didn't know night from day. There was nobody to hand this baby off to. I've got no family, no brothers, no sisters, no aunts, no uncles, no mum, no dad. Nobody's going to be there for me. My marriage was broken. So I went back to drinking. I did what I did because that's what I did. And that came with its own mess. I was still singing occasionally, but, I was flat broke. There was no money. And it was just spiraling. Real had become a bit physical, and eventually he left. So now I've got me, a toddler, a baby, no family, no network, no money, no job, and a drink problem.
And you're what, 21, 22?
I was 23.
23.
Yeah. And then it got bad. And it got really bad. And it was just this roller coaster of trying to pick up the right thing, trying to make it work, and dropping it, and trying to pick up the right thing and dropping it. And this baby who was really, really challenging, and a toddler who was amazing, but just no respite, no relapse, and everybody making it my fault. But I was genuinely doing the best I could. And I can remember it as almost like peeling a carrot. It was like peeling my soul, like taking bits off my soul every day just to try and get to the end of it. And I was getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and I was physically very unwell. And I used to walk miles with this double buggy. I didn't have a car, couldn't afford to put the heating on in the house. I was determined to keep the house because I didn't want to be homeless, I guess because I hadn't had a proper home as a child. But there was just no money. I took in ironing, I walked dogs, I did Avon, I did all these things, and I didn't know how to make any of it work. I got kind of like my first proper job, and all my money went on childcare. So I was still doing other jobs as well. So I've always worked a lot. I've never been scared of work, but I was always somewhere I needed not to be. I was always, if I was at work, I needed to be at nursery. If I was at nursery, I needed to be at a different work. It was all of that. And I was just drinking more and more and more. And there was sort of no space left. And then I met someone. That went well. Just going to gloss over that. Moved in with him, and that was not ideal. That was very not ideal. And I've been in between this not ideal and that not ideal. I got involved in an abusive relationship, which was very not ideal, and that all ended up going to court. And that's when I realised that if someone wants to hurt you, nobody can protect you. Not really. And I got injured. I had my face broken and things in that relationship. Then I moved to this other relationship, which was differently awful, very coercive, and very abusive differently. I managed to get away from that relationship and set up again. And by this point, I was done. So I was 27 and I was just done. I had a proper job. I worked in a bank, and everyone knew I had a drink problem. When I talk about it now and I look back, I'm surprised that I only had a drink problem, actually. I'm surprised that I managed to get the kids to school, and I managed to get to work, and I rented this nice house with lots of garden and lots of land in Essex. And we had a dog, and we had all the bits that I wanted that made it look like it was okay, but it wasn't. It just wasn't okay. And I was broken, and I knew I was broken, and I knew I couldn't function. And that would have been, we moved in the spring to that house, and it was in the October that I was sectioned into a mental health unit, an NHS mental health